Star Trek Voyager Season 2 episode. This one. We did try and record this review at Ribbit's house with Ribbit, and the sound quality was shit. We bought new microphones. It was meant to be 2 microphones, so we put both crystal clear. That did not happen, and we got this. Overall, this episode was... so you can understand why we're not there. Now, the basic story of Twisted, which is the episode, is Voyager hits an anomaly and then the ship gets turned into like a weird labyrinth and everything goes on. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, I recommend going and watching the episode, but this is, and Ribbit agreed with this, Neelix goes full jealous mode and it's annoying. It's Kess's birthday, 1-year-old, which is, when did Neelix start dating her? Was she like 2 months when Neelix dated her, or was she 2 years old in this episode? She might have been 2 years old. I'm hoping she was 2. Either way, when did Neelix start dating her? It's a weird thing. Like, Neelix gets jealous because Tom gives her a locket. They're all in that god-awful, meant-to-be modern-day 24th century French bar, which comes across as like a early 1900s French bar, and it's just... horrible. The episode itself, when they hit the anomaly, the ship is sort of split into bits. There's some really good sort of moments of like silliness where they can't find where they need to go. And Captain Janeway is sort of incapacitated. I want to say the storyline isn't sort of huge in this. It's sort of played a little bit for laughs. And I also don't get how... they play it like each room gets sort of separated and at the door. And that sort of doesn't make sense. Why would the anomaly pick the door? It's weird. And they play it like it's some sort of rearranging labyrinth. Kind of like the Cube, actually. It plays it like it's just like, oh, it's back, it's weird, it's what? And then when they show the schematics of the ship is like twisted. And it sort of doesn't make sense logically in my head. But it makes for some funny moments with B'Elanna and engineering. They have trouble getting to the bridge. Tuvok is there. Janeway gets incapacitated and she can't speak English anymore. She's unconscious. And they try everything to get past this anomaly or out of this anomaly so they can solve this problem. It doesn't work. And eventually they have to accept their own death. Now, this is where the episode gets good, because it's a problem they can't solve. And it's a problem that they've tried to. They've been fighting against. We don't want to be hurt. And the literal wall of this anomaly is coming through the ship. Once again, that's why it doesn't make sense that the door would be the boundary between the anomalies. But it's not. I don't fucking know. It's weird. But all of them talking about how, well, we're just going to have to let it happen. We're just going to accept death. If we die, we die. That's the way it is. And it turns out that that's not the case. And that's what I really loved about it. I really loved the fact that they didn't solve the problem. They had to face death. They didn't know what was going to happen. So it sort of rang true. Now, Kess obviously wants to put a photo of Neelix in her locket. Neelix asks Chakotay for advice on women. The Neelix stuff really brings this episode down. I don't care. If Neelix is jealous, then he's just a jealous prick. Get over it. In terms of the other characters, I really liked them grappling with death. I found it really weird. There's a scene where, when Janeway initially gets hurt, where she just stops in the middle of the corridor and tells Harry Kim how much she's proud of him and how much he's grown. I'm like, oh yes, because that's what you do in an emergency situation, Captain. You stop and have a heart-to-heart with your character, with your youngest ensign. And look, any love for Harry Kim, I love, but it just seemed really, really jarring that all of a sudden she was saying this, and you knew it kind of gave a finality to her character, which I wish, granted, added some extra drama, barely. I like the way all the cast is working. I just don't think this is the strongest episode. It's one of those episodes where they're just bottled on the ship. There's nothing really going on, and what's going on doesn't make sense. And the whole, like literally, I just feel like the Neelix stuff was there to fill out the episode. It was nothing special, which drives me insane, because it's like you don't need to create this tension between characters. Tom is clearly cracking onto Kes, clearly. But Kes shows him nothing in this. Like, Kes doesn't really flirt with him. He's not looking that way. So Neelix shouldn't be worried. Like, if Kes is an independent woman. She can say no. And I think that's what I find with this episode. The funniest thing is Kes is not in the wrong at all here. Neelix is being a dick. And I just wish that they gave her a little more ammunition just to go, stop being so insecure. I left my planet for you. Get the fuck over it. But yeah, the biggest and best part of this episode was Cats going crazy. Biggest and best part of this episode was dealing with the fact that they couldn't solve the problem. Everything they tried has failed. They all sort of say their goodbyes to each other in a way. But it is slightly ruined by the Chakotay mysticism, and only because it's so clearly just them making up shit. Like, all of a sudden the flute starts to play, all of a sudden he's talking about his animal guide, and B'Elanna's in there. It's like, every time he brings up any hint of his Native Americanness, they play this fucking flute. It's like, did you not have a Native American guy there? And I know for a fact that they did have an advisor there who wasn't actually a very good advisor and gave them a lot of bad advice. But at the same time, there's no need. I suppose they're trying to use it as a surrogate for like religion in general, but it just looks stupid. It looks like them trying to adhere to some sort of spirituality while not saying all of them are Christian or something like that. But yeah, it comes across as patronizing of Native American culture, because they literally start playing the flutes and it's the most generic stuff. It's like, oh, I speak to my spirit guide, and it's like, no, surely there's a better way to handle this. Overall, middle of the road episode. Ribbit can go fuck himself for not doing this video with me this weekend, but we will be back next week on Sunday with a new Star Trek Voyager review.